Hey everybody, welcome back. So we just finished the 100. After the 100 comes the leg circles and frogs. So in the 100, there's still 4 springs on. So in the perfect world, Matilda's going to transition, put both handles in one hand, sit herself up without letting her feet touch the floor in the perfect world. Take 2 springs off, 2 inner or 2 outer, and then take it onto your back. Keep your knees deep into your chest. So now she's kind of staying in her belly the whole time. Now on this equipment, it might be different than what you have at home. We have to thread the loops through the handles, so that the handles don't smack you on the head. And the headrest must, actually the headrest can stay up.
Yeah.
The headrest can stay up, that's only for short spine. So she can do it herself, I'm sure, but you could help the person, put your foot on the reformer, and you could pull the reformer to them and help put their feet on. Otherwise, she can do it herself, and she's in her nice froggy position. So let the spring, or the straps, let it melt your legs into your center, like as if your legs were like a folded towel. So just take a breath in, Matilda. And on your exhale, let the spring gently fold those legs deeper into your chest. And at the same time, can she find a little bit of heaviness of the femur sitting nice and deep into the hip sockets. So that's going to be her start and stop position. Now, I'm not saying this is not allowed, but ideally for now, we're trying to keep as much of her pelvis on the mat. We can't say she's neutral, it's not true because the legs are past 90, but she's not into this tuck thing. Okay, not to say that that can't happen at some point, but what we're looking for is a pretty stable spine, shoulder girdle, pelvis to move the femurs from. So she's going to do frog first. On her inhale, she's going to feel like she's going to drop her booty, open up the hips to straighten the legs. And you don't get too low on this one because you can see how the straps will either hit the chest or shoulder blocks. And then she's going to exhale to come back in. Okay, she's going to resist the straightening of her knees as she tries to yawn open her hips, not too far, of course, and then exhale, resist the bending. So this exercise is fantastic in teaching people how to not motor from their knees. The knees are really like secondary, third in command, and then it really is her trying to work the femur rolling in the hip socket. And then that's the ball and socket joint, and of course the knee is the hinge joint, and it gets affected by the movement of the femur in the pelvis. There's her inhale out, and her exhale comes all the way in without letting her back, or I should say her booty coming off the mat. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. I just wanted to add, just like in footwork, this is kind of footwork on the diagonal. So let's show, I see this all the time. Come back in for a second, Philip. So kind of stop moving your femurs and do a little bit of hyperextension. Like as she goes out, there'll be a point and people just slam the knees down. So if the reformer stops moving and they've moved their knees, you kind of miss the boat. You're trying to continue to expand the equipment with your breath and the movement of the femur in the hip, and that's why her legs straighten. Okay, so that would be frog. And then anything you want to add to it?
No, I love that you said the springs.
Yeah,
because that's an important piece.
Yeah, the spring, and that's the same with footwork.
Yeah.
So we're just seeing footwork on various dimensions here. If the equipment stops moving and you're still moving, you should probably relook at that. Somewhere along the line, it's usually the knees that have sort of taken over, and they're kind of bullies. So now we're going to do leg circles. So she's going to have her legs straighten up to the ceiling. Yeah. Or she could push out if she wanted to. We can set it up that way too. Now, she's pretty flexible, but most people don't have that flexibility. So just push your legs this way a little bit. Right. And then feel like you can straighten your legs a little bit more if you can without giving up your hamstring. So give me your hamstring. Stand your hammies against the strap. There she goes. And then we're just going to open up the legs without moving the equipment. Then she's going to move the femurs and the hips to take the legs around, pull them together, and then exhale. Let the ball swivel in the socket only as high as her back won't round, shove into the mat, or her bum come off. And then she's going to inhale, open, circle it around. She might have to go a little quicker, just so she doesn't run out of breath, and exhale it up. Right. So again, see if you, I know you can, Matilda, but for most people, let's see if we can stop really like at 90. So there's your 90.
Oh, wow.
So I can see she felt like her 90 was over here.
Yeah, totally.
And why we want to catch that in this exercise is that when we start to teach short spine, it's really important that we have the legs sort of stop in the pelvis so that eventually the pelvis is what takes you over. Another video, but just saying. So it's interesting, right? That's why we have to teach each other, because what we
Yeah.
feel and what we do. There we go.
Totally.
Yeah, and then the other thing I'm going to add, if you can see this, see how she wants to change her knee joint. Don't change it. Stop right there. Don't bend it anymore. See if you can lengthen through the back of the legs. And now move those inner thighs open. There you go. Move the head of the femur to move it out. There's her inhale. And then as you rise up, don't change your knee joint. Don't change it. Just move ball and hip. That's it. Much better. Now reverse it. Inhale it down. Open up the legs. Circle it around. Take it out to the side. And then draw those inner thighs. Don't move the reformer. Don't move it. Don't move it. Don't move it. Right. Now she stays a little bit in her hip extensors. Glutes and hamstrings. Just a little bit. Yeah. And then exhale. And of course, you're looking at not a lot of movement through the torso, if any, none, so that she can really sort of stabilize her pelvis and mobilize her femur. And that's about it. I can talk some more, but that's going to be way too long. What do you think? Anything else you can add to it?
No, it feels great.
Okay, good. And then they can probably get themselves out of it, or I will do it for them. Take their feet out, and then you control. Okay, if you have any questions, please put them in the comments below, and we can answer them in another video. Thanks, you guys.